We're here at Smash Summit, Beyond the Summit's very first Smash event, and I grabbed Zoo. Say what's up, Zoo.
Dude, what's up? To all the people watching, Smash Summit has obviously been incredible. Shout out to Beyond the Summit for hosting us and having Smash the first time. Super, super awesome.
It's been a sick event so far. I mean, the house is great. We're being treated like celebrities. It's great. It's been a lot of fun, and which is also so awesome that they just reached out to you and said, Zoo, we want you to just come on, and you said, no, guys, I couldn't possibly come to Summit, and Summit was like, come on, Zoo, you have to come hang out with us. Of course, it's not what it was like, but I'd like you to say in your own words the actually you just tell it.
God, I wish Summit just asked me to come to do something for you guys. But instead, there's the whole voting thing. That is a huge story in itself. But basically, I can say that like the 2-week voting or whatever the period was, like that was probably like some of the most stressful I've ever been in my life. And I think that goes to show that like Smashers really see this as like a huge opportunity. It's like it was super fun, a lot of great exposure. Everybody wanted to be in, and so like yeah, that whole voting thing, like I felt like I was a politician running for office. It was insane. I'm still shocked that I even made it through, honestly. But I'm here. I'm happy. I had to take a few days to rest up for this event, just from like the actual voting thing, but also just to prepare for the event itself. Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to have any more detail than that, but.
Was it worth it?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, even if there was no, like, prize money or anything like that, like, yeah, just coming here and, like, seeing this whole house, like, Smashers, like, let's be real, there's not that much money involved, right? Like, very few of us are playing for the money or for... I mean, I think the glory is part of it. Not so much like, oh, like, I want to be famous, but it's like, oh, I want to be known as the best player in this game because, it's like, we all respect this game. We all want to be, like... known to be really good because, we respect this game as like a really technical and challenging thing. But yeah, like super stoked to be here, obviously. Super worth all the time I spent personally. I know everyone else spent a lot of time like campaigning and like trying to sell themselves. But yeah, again, even without the money, super worth it. Had a great time with all the matches and MAFIA and all that stuff. Can't complain.
Well, I'm really glad you're here. You did a lot of hustling, and that you've earned your spot, which I think has a separate type of reward with it than being invited. I'm wondering, having worked very hard to be here, and there's so many rewards just being in the house, man, it's great. Do you still feel that drive where you really need to place well to represent yourself, or is it just the practice, and the experience? And everything else is worth it just to be. Are you already a winner for being here, or do you have certain goals you've set for yourself?
Yeah, definitely this is like a huge training opportunity, obviously. Like, I live in Philadelphia right now, and like really the main player that I play against is Cactuar. There aren't too many other players that are even like close to his level. So other than Cactuar, like my only practice is like, I go to a tournament and I'll get friendlies, but like at a tournament environment, it's like kind of stressful. Like it's hard to really like, I want to work on Sheik versus Falcon. Like I've been working on Sheik, right? It's hard for me to just like, Johnny, come play me because he might be busy. I might be busy. That's hard. But here in this house, I have basically full access to like 15 of the other top players in the world. Are you kidding me? So like I think it's a bit of both. Like I definitely want to like do well in the tournament. I don't feel like I just got here and then I can just relax and enjoy the event. Like no, I also want to do well in the tournament itself. But like I think I would get more value out of focusing on the boot camp or the boot camp aspect of it. Like just like sitting down with certain players, working on certain things because I have again like 10-hour access for 4 days straight. That's not something I'll ever get until Summit or something similar happens again because, again, I live in Philadelphia, so.
True story. I've heard you say in the past that it's important Smashers represent themselves well as far as how they compose themselves and even how they dress. My question, and I agree with you, but my question for you is this. I'm watching this interview at home, and I do agree with what you're saying, Zoo, about how to dress, but I don't have much fashion sense. And I have little to no money. What are just a couple of things I can do to at least not scrub it up? What are some of the easy gimme tips for coming to a tournament or an event like this and representing myself well?
I don't know if I'm the right person for this. I think first and foremost, like being comfortable is more important than how you perceive other people to think like looking good. So I get like dress for yourself versus dressing for others. I guess in terms of like buying clothes tips if you're like short on money, I mean look for deals. I mean I think okay, so I think the most important thing in like dressing well whatever is just like finding things that fit you. Really. Like just have an idea of like just like I think right now like wearing super baggy things or overly tight things is just like, you know, that just makes you look like worse or whatever. I mean, I guess finding the right fit and finding a store with like decent sales is the way to go. There are certain websites like I don't know if I should plug anything, but like,
No, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
yeah, I don't know. Finding things that fit and like looking on clearance if you're short on cash. Otherwise, again, just being comfortable I think is the most important thing. So.
Look, it was a weird question, but that's exactly the answer I wanted to. And if I can phrase it another way, dress like you care. There's no one way that that looks or is, but dress like you care how you look. And that could mean a wide variety of things. So, no, I think it's really cool, man. Listen, so catastrophic situation, there's a supervillain or there's a seismic event, I don't know, whatever, but every Melee disc in existence breaks. It shatters and the code, Dan Salvato can't fix it. Do you move to Smash 4 or do you just pack up your things and move on? Moment of silence.
No, my God. Man, I guess a huge part of the reason. So here's the thing, right? With for me, Melee and Smash, it's like about the game and it's about the community, but they're like intertwined. I feel like the community doesn't really exist without the game, and the game doesn't really exist without the community. So like, I feel like the Melee community was built around the fact that we love this game in particular, not some other game, not like 64. It wasn't built off of Brawl or Smash 4. Like I see Melee really like being centered around the fact that Melee is Melee, and without that fundamental thing. Like, I think that a lot of, like, if that really were to happen, a lot of the Melee guys would go to Smash 4, and maybe I would go to the events and, like, hang out with my homies and stuff. I don't know that I would compete in Smash 4.
So assuming Melee is your favorite game of all time, what's your second favorite and why?
Ooh, I really liked Ragnarok Online. It's like an MMORPG. So it's just like, you know, like World of Warcraft. It's kind of like a Korean version of that. It's like cutesy anime characters, and you move around, you like go on quests, you have like guilds, you do like, you know, team versus team type stuff. So I had really, really fond memories of that back in the day in high school. Like I would play with my classmates. I would get to know people online. It was a very social thing. And on top of that, there were like different classes that like, you know, there was like it was like really technical, like your skill tree took a lot of time to figure out. Like, so it was just like a pretty deep and fun game, kind of like Melee, honestly, with like a social aspect built into it. So I would say that I have the fondest memories of that game other than Melee, unless you were looking for like a competitive game specifically.
No, that's a fair answer. Tell me about Smash Practice. Open question, but tell me about it.
I think Smash Practice is just a result of me and Cactuar wanting to stream, and we kind of realized that like, okay, well, what we represent is like learning the game both inside and out. So like really, really like learning the fundamentals of Melee, both like, you know, fighting game fundamentals and also like frame data. Like really, like you can't really play the game without knowing what you don't know. You identify those things, you learn those things, you practice those things, and then you apply those things in tournament, right? So we have a stream, we make videos and content that revolves around that. And right now we don't have like too much of a focus. Recently we've kind of realized that we're really interested in the like sports psychology side of things. Cactuar has always been into like psychology and that type of stuff. And there was a sports psychologist, master's student. His name is Metric. He's worked with other esports teams. So he really wanted to apply his knowledge specifically with Smash. And so that's kind of what we're working on right now. So obviously there's like the how to play Falco, how to combo with Falco, like that kind of stuff. We've kind of turned away from that, and we wanted to focus on more psychology type stuff. Like how can like more of like a self-help using Smash as a medium. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going for. We stream like almost like guided tutorials in a sense. We have like Q&A sessions where you kind of show how we practice and prepare for tournaments, all that good stuff.
Speaking of roommates, who did you room with for Summit, and how is he as a roommate?
Oh, I house a Swedish. But we also have MacD and Andrew Wu, Andrew from Showdown. So it's a packed house. We share beds. It's been a lot of fun. So Smashers, still kind of grassroots. We're used to having 10 people in a room, pushing the limits of what's legal in hotel rooms. Honestly, always if it means sleeping on the floor, not having a blanket, but saving $25 a night, we'll do it. So no, it's been great. I can't say much about like Swedish in particular. Like, I know Swedish, I know Andrew, I know MacD. They're all really fun. Definitely made my nights fun. I'm actually gonna plug this really quick. I'm making a vlog, I guess, of this event. That was one of the things I promised I would do to get here. So I guess having extra people in the room was kind of nice. So like at the end of each day, we basically put on a camera and just like summarize the day. And that was really nice because I think just me doing it by myself is less flavor, less exciting. I had Andrew help me with that, and I would have like Swedish or MacD or like Phil and Waffles play in the background just to add to the environment. So I think that was really cool that like, it wasn't just like a closed room. Like Smashers, we're all homies. We all know each other. We all see each other at every tournament. We're really comfortable with each other.
Awesome. So you're pretty old school as far as Smashers go. You remember what it was like when we played at tournaments when 200 people was enough to travel across the country, whereas being your local. You remember what it was like when everything ever wasn't streamed, and when you did, you only had maybe a couple thousand viewers or whatever it was for whatever year. But today and tomorrow, if you go 2 and out, Isaiah forbid, you're going to be playing in front of 20,000 people. How do you like it? Not is it hard? Do you like it? Is it fun?
Oh, I think for me personally, like I transitioned into the streaming era really well. So like when streaming was becoming like a thing, I was playing like winners finals and just like the stream matches all the time. So like I was there when it was 10 viewers, 100 viewers, 1,000 viewers, and 10,000 viewers. For me, that adds no anxiety at all. In fact, I actually don't even really think about the stream itself. For me, like the physical crowd that I'm next to impacts me much more. So like I honestly don't even think about stream numbers. Oftentimes, like if I do poorly, a lot of people will watch and will like communicate with me on Twitter, for example. Like that is when I actually feel the communication, because I don't see Twitch chat when I'm playing a match, right? Even if it's like 20,000 people, there's no Twitch chat next to the setup. So yeah, for me, like knowing there's a lot of people watching the stream, not really a big deal. It is really cool, like after a match, like if I do poorly, usually people encourage me. If I do really well, my Twitter gets blown up and it's like, oh, I'm gonna respond to every single fucker who supports me. It's great, right? The one thing that I can say is I cannot believe, so kind of your question was like, how does it feel to know that you're like, 20,000 people are watching you? 20,000 people watched MAFIA last night with a bunch of Smashers. How like insane, like that's absurd. That is super absurd to me. I know that's happened in other games, but like 20,000 people watching a MAFIA game. Come on, like what year are we in right now? Like what is going on?
Yeah, and 100,000 people watched Bob Ross that same day. I mean, it's a wonderful age we live in.
Yeah.
Smash Summit has the biggest melee pot of all time. However, nearly 3 days of play precede the very first bracket match. Who's sandbagging and who's playing their best? Starting with you, are you sandbagging?
No, I don't sandbag. I mean, I played my 2 challenge brackets or challenge rounds and I won them. I would actually, okay. Wes strikes me as someone who might be like a sandbagger in that sense, where like him in friendlies or him in like lesser important matches is very different than him in a high stakes match. Like, we know that like winners bracket and losers bracket Westballs is very different. Like he's much more willing to let go of stocks and winners and just like go crazy sometimes. And in losers, it's like, oh, he goes super turbo. He's like APM doubles and he plays like safer. So it's like, well, what do you do against that, right? PP is looking very weak. On the other hand, like his challenge matches have not been going very well. I think what happened was like day one, he wanted to challenge Mango Armada and like, those got redirected. Maybe that kind of like threw him like maybe off balance a little bit, because I think PP is the kind of guy who really likes to have things under control. And like, you know, I think he came in with the mindset of playing Mango and Armada, and I guess like, or whoever he wanted to play, and he ended up playing other people as a result, and like he didn't do so hot. I think as a result, like day 2 wasn't so good for him, and like he tried to opt out of the Iron Man match, for example. So I don't know. He's not looking so hot, but PP's also another guy who like does much better when it's high stakes. He really focuses all of his like knowledge and resources and energy in that one match. Like I think PP in particular really like built his tournament style, or built his like I guess training regimen, all of that stuff around the tournament format, which is like, oh, a best of 3, a best of 5. Like he doesn't see it as like, you know, an 8-hour grind. It's like, oh, I just need to do well in these 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and I'm going to put all my energy into that and like use everything else as just like data mining or preparation. Whereas I feel like everyone else here, like they kind of treat everything kind of the same. Like SoCal in particular, like they play for hours and hours and hours, right? Like they don't go into a tournament thinking like, oh, I'm going to really prepare for this one match. Like, no, this is just like any other match. I've played like thousands of hours. Like this is just any other match, right? I think it's cool that there's different strats, but yeah, I think PP's looking a little weak. Wes, I think, could be a little stronger.
What was the hardest point in your Smash career, and how did you deal with it?
A really hard point for me was at PAX. I was having trouble with Falco. Just like after I went to the East Coast and I played with Cactuar a lot, I guess we started analyzing Falco in a very like frame data-esque way. And I think coming out of that, I felt like Falco was very disadvantaged in a lot of situations, and just like playing him a lot made me feel very discouraged with Falco as a character. And at that tournament was kind of like the peak of that, where like I played Bladewise and I played Nintendude, and they're both like floaty characters. They are matchups that Falco typically kind of struggles a little bit with, unless you're super familiar with the matchups. If you watch the VODs, like the way I lost, like, you know, I was visibly like angry every time like I got hit. If I got chain grabbed, something wonky happened, I would just be like hitting myself, and like just I was so visibly upset. And like I ended up losing to Nintendude and losers, and the last stock was like, oh, you know, like my double jump got clipped and like I died. And like if you look at the VOD, it's like I go for a handshake, I don't even make eye contact with him because I was that salty, or just like upset with myself, upset with everything. Took me a while to get over that. What I ended up doing was basically saying, screw Falco, I'm going to go Sheik. Because Sheik is blah, blah, blah. It's like safer. It's, you know, it's like I don't get randomly killed and yada, yada. And I think that was actually really helpful, really healthy for me, because I got a different perspective. There's definitely that, getting the different perspective, playing a different character, but also like Sheik made my Falco a lot stronger as well. Made me realize that like, oh, you know, maybe it really is just me. Maybe I approach Falco the wrong way. Maybe I have to accept that he has certain limitations, and that maybe there's some things that I just need to improve on. So instead of just like being frustrated in the moment, like that made me really focus on what I can do in the moment. And like if all of my attention is diverted onto like what I can do for myself, then there's really no room for just like being upset, right? If all of your attention is like, oh, how do I improve? So yeah, switching perspectives, playing Sheik for a bit, really like treating her as my main, really did me some good, and really helped my Falco, specifically in the tech chase department, because Sheik is so tech chase heavy, which is not something that I focused on with Falco at all. So I don't know. If you have a hard time, either a change in perspective or a break, really, really good.
Good advice. Good advice from Zoo. I think we're almost done. What I want to do is what I'm calling a speed run. I'm going to throw 8 questions at you, and you're going to answer them. Yeah, that's the right attitude. Yeah, 8 questions, nice and quick. You can imagine it. I'm going to hold on to the mic. We'll just go back and forth like that. Speed run with Zoo. Number 1, Appies or Zerts?
I have no idea what either of those are.
Number 2, mountains or ocean?
Mountain. No, ocean.
Number 3, GGs or pop-off?
Oh, fucking... Pop-off.
Do you want to start over? I feel bad. We can start over. Are you good?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good. All right. Number 4, Frozen or Tangled?
Ooh, Frozen.
Number 5, what year was Melee released?
Oh my god, 2001.
Number 6, who was your first main?
Marth.
Number 7, who's the best smasher of all time?
Mango.
Number 8, who's going to win this weekend?
Armada.
You heard it from Zoo. Bold calls on all fronts. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Zoo. Appreciate it.